Hello, bodacious beans. I feel like I say beautiful beans every time, but I should really mix it up. So you're bodacious today. Maybe next time you'll be buxom. I don't know. Hi, I'm here. How's it going? Hi, Stars. And hi, Shawnee. You're probably still off getting your water, which is good. Everybody should make sure they dink their oiters. Um, there's a lot of planes going overhead today, so I'm sorry if that picks up on the mic. It is loud. Um, Do I have anything else important to say? I don't know that I do. We're here. Let's go. I did change settings a little bit more, which I think we're good now. I think we don't really have a lag that will distract me while I'm trying to do things. So that's good. I just lowered the frame rate a little bit more, and I think that that's good. I think we're good. I didn't put on my other rings today. I forgot. So I think we're set. Now that I've got those settings managed, OBS is using like a lot less CPU than Streamlabs ever did. So I think we're settled in and we can deal with new problems as they arise. um, so um, I didn't put on lotion today either. I have lotion right here. Let's put some lotion on. It's dry here still. It's pretty cold. So it got down to like 13 degrees Fahrenheit last night, which is going to be around -7 Celsius, because 14 is -7. Um, which I remember that one because I do. Um, we're going to work on the flowers some more. I don't think we're that far off from finishing this, so I think I can finish this today. If I finish it early, I did get another project inked out yesterday so that we can just jump right into that. It's at that point in the month where I'm like, oh my god, it's almost the end of the month now, and I haven't finished like anything for Color and Focus. So now's the time when even though it's fine and like it's not that serious, girly pop. It's just like I hit the 20th and then I'm like, oh shit, I haven't done any work this month, which is not true even remotely. Hi Tens! Good to see you. Um, but it's at that point where I have a freak out moment, even though I don't need a freak out moment, like I can't stop it happening. We get to the 15th and I'm like, oh, I got plenty of time. And then we hit the 20th and I'm like, oh shit. That's how it always is. But we talked about this on stream where I thought I was going to do this project next and then I like didn't. But I was talking about doing like a rubber ducky washi tape. And I had to cook on it for a little bit because I thought just doing ducks and bubbles would be cute. But I didn't think that it would be very original, and I wanted to like spice it up a little, for lack of a better word. So I decided that they're buttons. When we did the So Busy sticker sheet ages ago, I did a little duck because my mom had these. I don't know, anybody's parents or relatives or whatever who did sewing had a button bucket. Like we all know the button bucket, right? And often it was in one of those tin cookie containers, right? But my mom had these specific buttons that were little rubber duckies that I remembered. Oh, now we're lagging. So it's just my laptop thing, I think. Okay. But so we did like this one little rubber ducky button. And we're bringing them back. Because I thought doing like the little rubber duckies as those buttons that I remember, and then doing the bubbles like as buttons in colors that would match bubbles would be really cute. So that's what we're doing, and this is a repeating pattern that I can make into a washi tape. The problem with doing that in watercolor is that if I do the background watercolor, it won't match up on the edges necessarily. Like I will have to do some editing there. So I think my plan is to do just the buttons here, do another sheet of paper with the background color that I want, and then I can overlay that. That's what I did for the the pancake sticker that's for my Patreon club this month. So I did paint the background originally, and then when I was cutting out um, the text, I was like, actually, this looks really uneven and I don't like it. So I did another just like plain color with the same color background, and then scanned that in and put the stuff that I'd cut out on top of that instead of on the original background. Um, so I think that's probably the play for this too. I'm thinking a similar background color for this actually. Do like a nice bright blue, I think will be pretty. Um, yeah, so that's the plan. But first, flowers. And I'm guessing that's Grim. Yep. Hi, Grim. I will do a stretchy. Oh, I do need to erase the pencil marks on this. I just decided to wait and do that out here. Um, just so that I could use Leon. Stretchy. Hydrating. I'm waiting for Grim to redeem the compliment, but they haven't yet. Maybe I get away with it this time. But I'll do that before I forget, because I will forget and then I'll start painting over it and then I'll be like, ah, shit. But I've had this piece of paper cut and sitting around for like literal months to do washi tape design with. And it's finally happening. Because I also want to do, I didn't bring my sketchbook out here today, that's fine. I also want to do one that's just like gummy bears, but not scattered, just like a whole string of gummy bears. But I need to figure out how to make that a repeating pattern on an actual piece of paper. And it was like overwhelming to me because I don't know, I've been overwhelmed a lot this year. A lot has happened, like not bad things, but just like a lot of things that make it so that I find it difficult to do a lot of brain thinking, you know? Because I have had a lot of life changes this year, even if they're good ones. But it does make it so that my problem solving skills are not as good as they might be otherwise. So hopefully I will get into a headspace where I can deal with that at some point. But it is not right now, and I've accepted that. So we're doing this as the first washi tape. This one I just did the pattern digitally, and like just so that I could make sure that it would repeat nicely, and not have like a really obvious line where this ended. But I so I took that and then repeated it on either end with the same, right? Just the outline digitally, and I sent it to my brother and I was like, do you see an obvious repeat line in this? And he misunderstood what I was asking, which is fair because I didn't really explain it well. And he was like, well, I think if you looked at like this duck and you moved this button a little bit, you could have a repeat line there. And I was like, not what I was asking, but answers my question perfectly. Because I was like, there's already a repeat line in there, and I was asking if it was obvious, but since you didn't see it and the place that you picked is not where I have the repeat, we're golden. Like, very pleased about that. Okay. Do I have anything else to say? I don't know that I do. I'm still waiting on the thing that I need for my next project, and I'm annoyed because it was supposed to be delivered yesterday and it didn't get delivered yesterday, and now it's supposed to be delivered today, but it's still not out for delivery. And I'm like, just give me, because we'll work on some of that on stream probably, just because that'll be some time. So what I'm doing is I'm getting some basic like little notebooks that have paper hardcover, and I'm gonna paint on those as gifts for my family when I'm traveling. Um, just because I think it's a nice little useful gift that's helpful. Oh, Streamlabs, are you not awake today? Let's fix that real quick. Hi, Shawnee. I think that you were wandering a boot when I said hi to you the first time. Streamlabs probably just turned itself off. It does that from time to time, especially when they have like some sort of update or whatever. So I will turn that back on. But yeah, Stars is a cool streamer and you should hang out with her because I hang out with her a lot. Yeah, it turned itself off. Okay, should be good now. Oh, I love going on a little field trip to the kitchen. Hi, Jen. Good to see you. Okay, we should be good now if you want to try the command again, Shawnee. Or Stars can do it, or anybody can do it, actually. I have it set to anybody. Okay. I added that other green on my palette last time. I remember this because I wanted to green up the background a little bit so that it didn't feel so divorced from the rest of the painting. But I think that I want to focus on doing shading on like the leaves and the flowers first, and then I can hide any of my horrible sins with the background. Yes, Shawnee, always. There's also that meme of like the dog with its nose pressed up against the window so hard that you can like see their teeth. This says package at the bottom. I think about that one too a lot. Okay. I think I'm like scared to keep working on the flowers a little bit because I'm worried I'm not going to get like the amount of volume in them that I want. So I think that's where we need to start. I think that's the bet. Just like do the thing I'm scared of and then do the things that I don't care about. I'm very much like a front load the scary portion or like the hardest bit first. I always have been. Just like if you get the hardest part done, then you don't have to worry about anything anymore, you know? I do think, so right now I'm doing like an extra saturated kind of orange and yellow for the shadows, but I do think I'm going to go back through and for the really deep shadows that I want very distinct, I will add like a little bit more desaturated color for those to show that they're like in cool shadow, you know? But I really like color. I don't know if you guys knew this about me, but I like color. But how's everybody else doing? I guess I didn't ask that yet because I got distracted by talking. This part, I just need you to be a little bit more yellow, buddy. I do think I'm gonna bring in a little bit of Hansa yellow, which is like a greener tinted yellow for some of these higher highlights, just to make them feel a little bit different. So these spots that I left just because they're the lightest spot, but I don't want them to be like looking white, you know? Ooh, we love a relaxing day. For shoresies. I do think I need to work on this guy a bit more. He's feeling flat. This specific petal right here. Woohoo! Only a little bit more to go. You got it. Yeah, see, it's like really early for me. So it's like 10:30 in the morning. So I've got like the whole day ahead of me. I will say that Rainbow and Lib are streaming later today together. They're doing a collab, which I've been bullying them about doing a collab like the entire year. So if you are a Lib and or Rainbow enjoyer, you should come hang out tonight. Because their birthdays are really close together, so they're doing like a combo birthday stream. Yeah, I'm sure you don't know them, Shawnee, but I bet that you would really like them. Ooh, that's too much water. Okay. Like right in here is really dark. So I think I'm gonna end up doing like a more desaturated color in there just to really amp up the shadow. But for now, we're just gonna work on very saturated colors because they slap. Okay. Oh, that's fun, Jen. I've seen those ones. Is it the one where it's just like the sausage and then you can twist it into the right shape? Because that seems like it would be really specific about counting and it would like kill my brain a little bit. Yeah, because you'd have to make each of the sections like very precise, otherwise it wouldn't twist together right. And I'm not particularly known for my preciseness when it comes to anything involving math, unless it's an Excel spreadsheet, because then I can make the spreadsheet do the math for me. Okay. Oh, interesting. I think I've messed up the shape of this petal a little bit, and that's why it's feeling so flat to me. Let me try to pull up some of that gray right there, because I think just rounding that edge is going to make me feel better. Just doop, 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 doop. You have to make that sound, otherwise the watercolor doesn't come up. Just in case you were wondering, you got to make a doop, doop, doop. It's a requirement. There we go. Yeah, that already feels better. All right. I love it when I'm like, this doesn't look right, and then I can actually frickin' figure out what it is. Excellent, Shawnee. I am speaking on the crocheting thing. I treated myself a little bit, and I got a yarn advent calendar, which was not cheap, but I'm really excited about it. So it's just like it's sock yarn, but it's just like little mini skeins for each day. And I'm thinking I need to do this because I haven't yet, but I'm thinking about looking up like tiny little, what's the right word for those? Amigurumi, is that right? Patterns to do with that? Because I know most of them are in like Chanel or like DK weight kind of stuff, but I think making a bunch of little tiny things and then giving them to people as like ornaments or something would be good. Yeah, amigurumi. That's right. Okay. It's like, is that the right word? I always forgot. Okay, we need you this side to be a little bit more in shadow. And ease up. We also need this bit to be more in shadow. But I do have a pattern to just like knit basically a gauge swatch and then turn it into a little stuffed bunny, which I think is good. Because obviously I need to send one of those to Grimm, right? I can safely talk about what I'm doing for Grimm because they're in a meeting, so they can't hear me. I was thinking I'd do that as like a little, I don't know, Christmas ornament or just a little knickknack. But since there's like 24 days of yarn, I can do a bunch of stuff. I do have a pattern for little gummy bear too, but that's for Chanel, like the thicker yarn. So I don't know how well that would work. And it also involves a stitch that I don't know, which I can learn. Like that's not that big a deal, but it is something to think about, you know? Because I do have a lot of other work I need to get done in December, for sure. Yeah, exactly, Jen. And especially with crochet, like with knitting, it's very, very locked into the grid format, right? Um, but with crochet, it really is just like the Wild West. So if I feel like I need another stitch, I can just throw another stitch in there and it won't mess with anything. Okay. I just want this to be more yellow, really. Like the reference photo is like very, very yellow. Which is because I bumped up the saturation on it because I like saturation. But I do want a little bit more color. I also briefly considered like making myself a scarf out of like a mismatched scarf out of all of the little um skeins, but I already have plenty of scarves. Like that was like all I wove for my independent study in fiber was just like color study scarves basically. So I was just mixing a bunch of patterns and stuff or like fibers and stuff together. Okay. What else do I need in here? I think a lot of this is just going to be darkening stuff up, which I'll want to do. It's a little bit of a desaturated color. I do think that this little petal right here isn't really standing out the way that it should, which I think is because I haven't deepened up the shadows back here enough. that's better. Um, Still think like this is all really just one petal, but it still looks like there should be something else in there. I think maybe if I just deepen up the shadow here a little bit, that'll help. And my back hurts today. We've been having like a bunch of pressure shifts, like back and forth. We've been ping-ponging all over the place. Yeah, I think that's better. But it's making my joints really, really mad at me, which means that my problem joint in my hips is like even madder than normal. I think I want this to be more yellow too. Just beef that up a little bit. Yeah, that feels better. Yeah, so I think when I go back through there and do a darker desaturated shade for the shadows, that will, like the deep shadows, that will pop and it'll be good. Okay, let's work on another flower. This guy is like completely desaturated, but we can beef him up a little bit. He deserves it. There we go. Okay. Hey Kvelds, how you doing? I can move that painting up so that you guys can like actually see what I'm doing. I always forget where like the line is. I used to have a piece of tape down there, but it changed because I had to take down and reset up the stuff a bunch. Um, so I took it off, but maybe I should put it back up. I don't know. Ooh, my neck is cracking every time I turn my head. That's a great sign. Ah, excellent. We love it when the drugs kick in. Where is that? That's that. Okay. I think part of the reason I feel like these don't look yellow enough is just because I haven't darkened the background up enough. That's more just me telling myself that it's not done yet and I need to stop nitpicking at myself. Which is always a problem. Okay. You're not there. This one? This one, okay. I didn't use the whole photo in the stamp, so I'm just trying to, like, on my reference image, finding which bits are actually in the painting and which aren't. Which, if I had thought it through a little bit harder, I would have put a line, like put a circle on the actual photo where I did that, but thinking through is not my strong suit many times, especially not when it's just me who has to deal with the aftermath. If somebody else had to deal with that, I would have done it for them, but I didn't think about it for myself. You know how it is. Okay, that's that. Okay. This photo also isn't the best quality, which means I can't always tell where the petals are, so I'm trying to figure out where my past self decided the petals went, which is another issue. Just artist things. Okay, that's that. All right. I like haven't done much of interest this week, honestly, except for things that I can't talk about on stream. Um, some of you know. Hashtag secrets. Because I didn't have any model sessions this week. I have one next week and then one more in December, and then we're done for the semester. It's so hard when you're doing like a surprise for somebody who you talk to a lot, especially when it's somebody who's like the first person in your brain that you go to talk about stuff with. It's like so hard. It's so hard, but it's going to be so good. I'm excited. But, you know, it's secret. Yeah, pretty much. Just like, you know. Okay, are you dry enough? Yes. Okay, that's that. This is that. All right. I vaguely understand what I'm doing. At least in the painting. I don't know about life, really, but. I also am just tired today. I did not sleep particularly well last night. Which is like, it's fine. I'll live, but I would be doing better if I had slept well. I think one of the like coolest things about doing art actually on stream is that so like I see this with my own eyeballs, right? So the way I see it is not the way everybody else is going to see it, and it definitely isn't the way my scanner is going to see it. But the way the camera sees it and puts it onto my computer is a lot more like what it's going to pick up on as on the scanner. So I can tell when I need to like boost contrast or change the colors a little bit. And it's really helpful. Also, just having something at a different angle. So I'm looking at this like from here, but the camera is looking at it straight on, which means I can see it from like two different angles and see if something looks off in the two different spots, which is something I would not have thought about as helpful, honestly, before I started. But it is helpful. Something that kind of just looks like a blob, but you know, some flowers do just look like blobs and we should let them exist. You know, I meant to re-look up what kind of flower this was, and I definitely didn't. I know I looked it up, but I don't think so. It was globe something flower. Let me look. I bet if I just Google that, it'll tell me what it is. Yeah, it's just the globe flower. That's why I can't remember the other word, because there isn't one. Um, yeah, but that's that. Look at that. It was in the, I took this photo specifically in the botanical garden up here in Anchorage. So it may also be native to Alaska. I don't know. It may also just be something that's like pretty, so somebody put it in a garden. I don't know. I'm not that plant smart. I'm smart in many things, but this particular situation is not one of them. Okay, that's another flower back there. This is the front flower. Okay, got it. It's just globe flower. that one is just... This guy's just a blob, pretty much, because he's out of focus. Much like same bestie. Yeah, the things your brain just randomly pops out is pretty wild. I was just thinking, like, I was looking at the stamp size, and I was like, it would be cool if I could, like, make actual stamps of this. And then my brain was just like, hey, remember that stamp scene in Fargo where Margie's husband got his stamp approved, so they were going to print it with his duck painting? Thank you for that very specific memory, brain. It was really necessary in this moment. Okay. It is a nice little moment in a really weird movie. Affectionate. Yeah, I don't know. My brain is just like this. Oh, thank you for the follow. Or not. That's not a very nice first message. You can leave now. Bye. Not a funny joke. And if that's your sense of humor, I don't think you'll fit in here very well. Oh, I see what I did there. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Oh, my favorite, not me like about to lift up my shirt to show you all my tattoo, even though that's like not physically possible with the way the camera is. My favorite is a yellow rose with pink edges because my great aunt got us a rose bush that had flowers like that, and we planted it outside the window in the house, like the front window in the house where I grew up. And the chair that I always sat in was right next to the window, so I got to sit there and read and look at the flowers. So it makes me think of my great aunt, who was just such a sweetie. And my mom wouldn't let me dig it up and take it with us to the next house we moved to, and the family who moved in dug it up, which was really sad. And I cried about it when I found that out. um, But yeah, those have always been my favorite, just because they make me think of my aunt, and she was really fun. She passed away pretty when I was pretty young, like when I was like 8. Um, Maybe younger than that actually. But I don't know. She was just like she'd had like a really difficult life, but it was just like a really kind and loving person always. And you never would have known the kind of stuff she had gone through just because she didn't want to focus on that. She wanted to focus on the good stuff. And I think that that's a good reminder in general. And just kind of like the vibe, you know? That's the vibe we go for. I could tell you guys a story about her first husband, but I don't think that's appropriate for stream. um, it's not a pleasant story. Um, but the man she married, like the husband I knew her with, was also very nice. He was just kind of like a very quiet, introverted person who didn't like group parties, but Annie Fifi, who would be my great aunt, absolutely loved parties, and she was just like a party animal. So she would have parties at their trailer a whole bunch. And Walter, her husband, would just be like sitting in a chair looking all grouchy. But he put up with it because he loved her so much, which I think is like really sweet. And obviously, these are memories of like a 6-year-old. So, like, he was, isolated and grouchy enough that my tiny ass remembered that. I mean, I'm also very introverted. I fake it for streaming. Like, I pretend that I'm not super introverted, but I am. I don't know. They were always nice. They also had a waterbed, which, like, as a child, is the coolest thing in the world. And she would just let us, like, go in there and play on it a bunch. Which, like, fun times, man. Yeah, exactly. Like, so I've mentioned this before, but my dad has a pretty public-facing job. So we had like a lot of parties at the house and stuff while he was climbing up the ladder. Um, so I like learned how to do that pretty early. So I think part of it is like, so I'm really good at like what many introverted people dread. I'm really good at the cocktail party and the small talk and stuff like that. I don't always enjoy it and I do find it tiring, but I am really good at it. But I think part of it is just that now that I can choose the places that I'm doing that, I like it a lot better. So it's not like I'm doing something that might affect my dad's job kind of a thing. It's like I'm hanging out with people that I care about and are interested in. And if something doesn't go right, it only reflects on me, which I find a lot less scary in general. I don't like the way this shadow looks right here. I'm fixing it. It just needs to be a little darker in the middle there, and then I think it's good. Okay. Um, I do find meeting new people a little bit scary, for sure. Just because that spot where you're in a situation and you're trying to figure out the vibe and like what kind of things are okay and what aren't, that part makes me really nervous. Um, oh yeah, that's smart. That's smart. See, my university experience was a little bit different because my dad was working at the college that I attended. And he left partway through, like he left before I got my degree. But it was definitely a different thing where I had like known a lot of the teachers and stuff through work events for my dad. By the time that I got into college. So it was just kind of like a different situation. And because my last name is pretty recognizable up here, like there aren't a lot of people with my last name here, Um, Whenever there was like a roll call in college, people would go, "Oh, that must be your dad. I'll have to watch what I say around you," kind of a situation. It's like, all right. Yeah, there's not a lot of beans here. We don't do very well in the cold earth, you know? Yeah, that's good. I think a lot of times we like introverted people especially who often had like difficult childhoods in one way or another because we were different. Um, Definitely have a lot of stuff to heal from there. But once we realize, not everybody is as mean as KJ grade 3 kind of a thing, it gets a lot better. Because you do have a lot more control over situations as you get older, which is, I think, one of the big problems with elementary school and stuff is that kids don't really have any control. So you can't, like, just switch classes or whatever. But as an adult, you can say, I'm not going back there. I didn't like it. Ah, same, Shawnee. That's something I was thinking about the other day because I did acting a fair amount in like middle school and high school. Um, and I guess at my church when I was growing up too. Um, but I never understood why people found it difficult. People were like, "Oh, you're such a good actor. How do you do that?" And I'm like, "You just pretend to be a person that you aren't." Like, I don't see what the issue is. It was the neurodivergency chat. I'd been pretending to be a person that I wasn't for my entire life. And then you could do it for funsies. It was I don't know, it's funny to realize that as you get older. That's fair, Jen. That's fair. Yeah, I was talking to my boyfriend last night actually about how I approach friendships now, which is way different than how I used to. So, I very much used to be like very quiet until I got the read of the situation and like knew what kind of person I should be to fit in with a group of people. I don't do that anymore. I'm just myself and I'm really loud and obnoxious and I just do whatever I want to do. And if people don't like it, they can go away. Like they have agency to just leave if they don't like me or to tell me to shut up. So I'm just going to do my thing and if you want to do my thing like your thing where I'm doing my thing, that's great and we can hang out. And if you don't, then we can go our separate ways. Like it's not that big a deal. Like I don't know. It's not it really when you're younger and like before you have really like I don't know, figured yourself out isn't exactly the right way to put it, but before you have figured out like what you want the core of yourself to be, it's so much scarier because if somebody rejects you then it feels like they're rejecting your whole self kind of a thing. But it really isn't like that. Just not everybody's going to get along. That's just how life works. Okay, I think it's time to work on some leaves. But I do think another thing is just, like I said, having more agency as you get older is definitely helpful. Because as a kid, you like really didn't get a choice about or I didn't. I guess some kids probably get more choices than I was given. But like, you don't really get to decide which places you're going to hang out. What did I do here? This does not match even remotely. Um, that distracted me so much, I completely lost my train of thought. Oh, like you don't get to pick what extracurriculars you're doing or whatever for a lot of it until you get to like college. So it means that when you do get to college, you finally get to like actually find who you want to be and like what you want to do. I really don't know what I did here. This is a mess. It's fine. We're just gonna wing it, and it'll turn out fine. Or it won't. Either way, it's fine. We do definitely need to deepen these up a bit. And I also need to rip my left hip off of my body, in case anybody was wondering. Yeah, my left sacroiliac joint, so that's where your pelvis meets your spine on the back, um, is like a nightmare, and it has been for a really long time. And I probably should go get it checked out, but like, who has the time? It's been getting worse though, so I really, in addition to all of the other random medical stuff I need to do, I should really go see if there's something like legitimately wrong. I might, judging by how much worse it gets when the pressure shifts, I might have arthritis. I don't know. Or because I also have some hypermobility, it's possible that I like popped it out of place at some point and didn't notice. That is also a possibility. But like, who knows? The body is a mysterious little asshole. Yeah, exactly. We just need to like shake it in one of those rock tumblers until it's all smooth and shiny, and then we can put it back. I'm gonna like actually pick up some of the pigment paintbrush. Thank you. Do you think maybe I want to use a bit of a smaller paintbrush for some of this? What have I got? I've got super tiny. There we go. This will be good. I do think I'm gonna do something really fast because Let's just do that. Um, did get some of this a little muddy when I was doing the background. Like, it's fine. It's supposed to be loosey-goosey anyway, but I'm gonna be weird about it. I mean, what am I not weird about, though? Like, that's just the brand at this point, right? I'm weird about stuff. I love how my camera gets slower and slower the longer I stream. Like the lag is increasing over time, even with the settings like way down. I just think that's really funny. What is that? Who are you? Oh, that's a leaf. Okay. Me trying to figure out what all my lines mean. Hi, Carl. Good to see you. I am once again wishing that I had lightened up the pencil lines before I started painting. Brr. Thank you. Where am I? That's this spot. Okay. That's that. That's that. Okay. Me trying to figure out where the hell I am in this photograph. How are things, Kuro? You surviving? Okay, good. Alive is a good first step. I will agree with that. I am alive today. So Ooh, that's exciting. Pretty early in the day, huh? So do you have to do paperwork or do you get to go home? I guess early in the day, it's not that early for you, but earlier than normal. Yeah, I was gonna say, you still have paperwork to do, huh? What am I doing this weekend? Saturday is usually like a big work day for me. Because it's when I don't have any like streams to go to, which sounds like I don't know, this sounds kind of lame if I'm being honest, but um it means that I can just sit at my computer for a super long time and do like stuff with my sticker software or whatever. If those journals arrive today, I'll probably start working on those this weekend. All of us. Shawnee always asks questions to like everybody. But I think other than that, I don't have anything really exciting. Oh, you want to? Okay, so I'm old. We've established this already. Do you want to know how I can tell that I'm old? I got a new mop and I'm really excited to use it on Sunday. Because I've been cleaning the kitchen when my brother is gone at church. Um, and I've been using a Swiffer, like one of those wet Swiffers, which like kind of sucks, not gonna lie. Like I like the smell of the cleaning solution, but it leaves like a residue on the floor and I can feel it. So I got a new like proper sponge mop that squeezes and has a little squeegee and a brush on it. So I'm really excited to make the kitchen floor like super clean. But other than that, really, it's just work. It's always work. Oh, actually, somebody tagged me in a thing on Blue Sky today that I haven't done yet. I saw it and I was like, I don't have time for this right now, and then immediately forgot. Good, good. I haven't worn mine out yet, but I have a modeling session next week, so I will probably wear it to that. Yeah, I was just going to ask you something that is probably not particularly appropriate. So if you don't want to answer this, please just tell me to fuck off. What size did you get? Because you said that it was a little bit too big for you. Mine is like just barely big enough for my stomach because I'm fat. Yeah, right, Felds. We also have like a really nice Dyson. I got a 3X too, or 3X as well. I just like I was thinking about that. I was like, I wonder if Kuro got the same size I did. But we also have like a really nice vacuum cleaner that we got as a gift. Um, that is one of those ones that just has like a charging station. So you don't have to have it attached to a cord when you're going through the house, which is so good for us because we have like a early 70s house. So all of the like doorways and stuff are really narrow. All right. Yeah, the 3X one is just like barely big enough. If I get any fatter, I'm not going to fit in it right. Which I think is so funny. Because I think you're significantly shorter than me, right? So, like, yeah, we're just like, yeah, I'm 5'8". So, yeah, just a little bit of difference there. I promise whenever we meet up to not use your head as an armrest. Yeah, exactly, Kuro. See, my stomach is the biggest part of me, according to clothing manufacturers. Like, because my stomach is so big, they always expect my boobs to be bigger than they are, which is ridiculous. Like, if I had more boobs, I would just look like a really fucked up squash. I don't know. Good, good. But I'm the shortest in my immediate family, which is wild. So I give off shorter energy than I am because my family was all really tall, so they put things up in the cabinets where even I couldn't reach them and I had to climb up on top of stuff. So I know the struggles, even if they aren't everywhere for me, you know? Yeah, same. My problem, I was thinking about this today because I just got some new clothes and stuff, but um, my waist is really small in comparison to the rest of me. So, like, if I want pants that fit, I have to alter the waistline. So, oh, gotcha, Kuro. But, like, if I get things that fit my thighs and my stomach, then they don't fit my waist, and it's like way too big, and it's really annoying. I think maybe I want to add a little bit of yellow to these leaves and the highlights. I'm not going to do like super intense leaf rendering because they're just like little blobs, really. But I think a little bit of yellow in there will look nice. Yeah, my brother is 6'4". We're tall people. My grandma is like my maternal grandmother is like 5'2", and she said that she was going to marry tall so that her kids wouldn't be short. And boy, did she. It worked too. My mom was 5'11", and her brother is 6'4".
And now for my next number, I'd like to return to the classics.
Yeah. Oh, good luck with writing, Jen. Thanks for popping in. It's good to see you. Yeah, 5'8". I told Adam once that I was 5'8", and Adam was like, "You're the perfect height." And I was like, "I think so too, but I haven't heard anybody else say that." Like, I'm the right height to not run into any of the spider webs if I'm walking around with my brother, which I grew up in Oregon, so there were a lot of spider webs. Um, I'm like the right height to not run into any of the spider webs, but I'm tall enough that I can help people reach stuff. It's a good height. Hi, BP. Good to see you. Oh no, I hope you feel better. I'm glad that you're getting some rest when you don't feel well, though. Yeah, I think I want to go over those with a little bit of like a yellow or green. Yeah, for sure. I just kind of accepted that everybody's always going to see my ankles. Honestly, like, they're nice ankles. Like, you're welcome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so my sleeves, I can demonstrate this with this shirt that I'm wearing today. My sleeves never go far enough down. But I've just accepted that. Like, of the problems to have with clothes, like that one just doesn't even register to me anymore, honestly. And I usually like pull up my sleeves anyway, so even when I'm cold, just like, I don't know, sleeves are not a good sensory feeling for me. Yeah, we have like a little step stool so that I can get up and change like light bulbs and stuff, but maybe it might be. We have like my family in general, like my brother and my dad, all have like really long fingers and toes, which is definitely part of hypermobility. But we always called it like the Dutch toes, um, because like my dad's family is mostly Dutch, um, and that was just like a normal thing, I guess, for Dutch people. I don't know. So I think it might be part of it for sure. But also like I say my family is like this, but hypermobility is also genetic. So so I don't know how much of which is what, honestly. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair, Kuro. Once nobody is looking, it's different. I've been like, I don't know, my brain has been really like hurting cats this week. I did not get as much done as I needed to. Just because I'm stressing about traveling, which doesn't happen for over a month. And my brain's like, we need to stress about this now. You're in waiting mode for something that isn't going to happen for over a month. And I'm like, can we not, please? Like, this is so pointless. Like, I get that you're stressed out. That's fine. But can we, like, we have things we need to get done before then. Thank you. I actually think I'm going to start writing, like, okay, so we all know that I love my lists. This is not new information, but I'm probably going to start writing my like packing list this weekend so that my brain stops obsessively thinking about it. I always write a list of all of the stuff that I'm bringing with me, just so that like when I'm leaving, I can check and make sure that I didn't like leave anything behind, you know. And since we're flying down to Portland and then driving down to see my grandma, so it's going to be like 3 packing trips before I get back home. So like we get to Portland, we stay at some place for a couple days, which is like unpacking a bit. We pack back up, we drive down to see my grandma, which is another unpacking, and then repacking, and then we come back up to Portland for another day. And that's another unpack and repack before I go back home. So lots of opportunities to leave stuff behind. But I also just do that even if there aren't that many things, just because I overthink so much that if I write it down, then I don't have to overthink it as much and my brain will ease up usually. Not always, but I'll probably start doing that. It's just so that I stop obsessively thinking about it. Yeah, I don't drive, so it's easy for me because I just sit in the car. Um, but this is a drive that we did at least twice a year when I lived in Portland. Um, so it's like old hat at this point. Like I dream about that drive level of situation. Because even when we moved to Alaska, whenever we went down, we'd stop in Portland and then drive down. Just because like we might as well. It's a pretty drive too, which it probably isn't as pretty if you have to be the one driving because you have to pay attention. But I like it. Yeah, I really am. I'm a good co-pilot though. Like you need me to unwrap your burger so that you can eat. I will hand feed you French fries while you're driving. I will be in charge of the music and the map, you know. I know my duties. But I haven't driven anything since I was like 18 maybe. I have panic attacks when I drive to the point that I like black out and don't remember what I did, which is like not safe for anybody. So it's better for everybody if I don't drive. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Like I tend to get along with people who like to drive just because I think our personalities mesh in a way that is good. So like I also was blessed by never really needing to learn to drive. Like there were situations where like it would have been easier if I could drive, but I was basically always dating somebody who could drive and enjoyed driving. Um, and even then, like by the time I was not doing that regularly, um, things like Lyft and Uber had become a lot more common, so it like wasn't that big a deal. Like I do live someplace where like my life would be easier if I could drive, but it's also not that big a deal. But my original career plan, I would have needed to live someplace like a big city that would have had good public transpo anyway, so it's like whatever. But now my brother drives. He doesn't like necessarily like to drive, but he does the driving stuff for us. That yeah, that's probably something you might need to work on, Kuro. Like I feel you, but also Yeah, that's fair, Shawnee, for sure. It's wild how our brains change over time. Like, it doesn't even necessarily need to be like something super traumatic, but just the way that we approach life changes so much. Yeah, my brain doesn't work that way. But yeah, that's because I have some capital T traumas that don't really go away, which I've been getting better with those a bit, but still some things just won't go away, which is, I don't know. It's annoying a lot of times more than it's like actually worrisome. Yeah, for sure, for sure. But like there's a very popular Halloween franchise that still triggers me even though the thing that happened to me happened um like 30 years ago at this point, and it's really frustrating. Like it's not even like getting triggered is not fun, but it's just annoying because it's everywhere. And so it's like really difficult to avoid. And it means that I'm basically not safe for an entire month out of the year. And I would, honestly, a month and a half because it comes back around in December. Um, and it's just like really frustrating to have to deal with that and like having to warn people, like, hey, if you're doing this thing for your Halloween event, I can't be there. Could you warn me? Kind of a situation. And it's like, ugh. Ugh. What's wild is the person who traumatized me in the first place who's been dead for like nearing 20 years now. So it's like it's not even dangerous. Can we get over it, brain? Like it's never going to happen again. Chill. 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 And for the record, I did not kill them. It's just one of those things. I don't know. I get frustrated with my own brain a lot because like I have a lot of stuff in there that I don't like. Yeah, mood, Kuro. I actually contacted a psychological place to try and get diagnosed for ADHD. And like they sent me an email and I sent one back with like a follow-up question about how to fill in the paperwork that they'd sent, and they just never responded to me. It's been over a week, so I might have to look at someplace else. But I'm trying, man. Like at this point, I think honestly just the ADHD diagnosis would do me a lot of good, just so that I could be like, this is why. For realsies. No more imposter syndrome, like I'm making it up kind of a thing. But ah, gotcha, Kuro. Yeah, see, so my school did have like services similar to that, but because my dad worked at the university, I didn't trust them. So I probably could have gotten tested there, but it was one of those things where it's like, I don't know, actually. I don't know that I trust your patient privilege there if you're like working within the same system as my father. Oh, interesting, Felds. Yeah, see, I specifically don't want an autism diagnosis, even though like I'm pretty sure, just because it cuts you out of a lot of immigration because there are a lot of countries who just won't accept anybody with an autism diagnosis. And I don't want to live in the US my entire life, and two of the places that I am interested in moving to don't accept people with autism, which is fucked up on a number of levels. But, you know, we work with what we're given. Yep, exactly. Oh God, that is ridiculous, Kuro. That's so expensive. See, ours was like a free service that like your fees paid for, basically. Yep. Will I ever actually be able to afford moving out of the United States? Questionable, but you know. I do think that I should probably try to contact another place since the other one, or maybe just call them, even though I don't want to. But their hours are also kind of limited, so it makes it difficult. Which is the same for like any place, honestly, but. Yeah, that's totally fair, Felds. Yeah. I don't know. I think that there's a lot of work internationally to be done with that. As far as just deciding that autism is like the bad disease and it's really shitty. But that also probably will not happen in my lifetime, if I'm being honest. We got a lot of other, like, more prevalent battles at the moment, especially in the US. Hey. Okay, I think I'm pretty much happy with those leaves. They look like leaves. They aren't too, um, what's the word I'm trying to think of? I kept them nice and loose. I didn't, like, overdo it. Yeah, like, I don't know. Once I realized, like, a lot of the things that I've struggled with related to both ADHD and autism, I was like, this answers so many questions I've had about myself for such a long time. And, like, that's more important to me than necessarily having the diagnosis, you know? I know you can't hear me, Grim, but I'm sorry. That's such a long meeting. You were already in it for like 4.5 hours before I started stream. Yikes. But I do think I'm going to take a quick break. So that means some ads and a little wander about. Um, and then we can get back to work on this. I think doing the background and then finishing up the darkened shadows on the flowers once I can see what it looks like with the background is the right call. I definitely know that I want to increase some of the shadows in this one since it's the focal point. Because I'm really liking the way this one looks in particular, which is, I like the way this one looks best, which is not how this should go. The middle one needs to be the one that I like best. Um, so we'll work on that some more. But first, break time. So I'm going to run some ads. Don't look at the ads. Don't let the capitalism win, okay? We don't like capitalism here. Um, but you could, take a break from your screen. You could get up and go get a little snack, a little treat, a little drink. You could get some more water. You could do a little stretch-a-rooney. You could go look at something that's further away from your face than your screen, which is good for your eyeballs, Just take a little moment, and then when we come back here, we can check back in and continue on the painting, okay? All right, we're back. Or at least we should be. I'm back. I will say something I've noticed with OBS is that my tuber loads like a lot faster than it did with Streamlabs, which is nice. Okay. Working on the background. That's the next step here. I do want to say with the words, the Payne's gray color, but I want to green it up a little bit just so that it feels more plant-like, I guess. But we'll just do a little mix here. I even did a proper stretch while I was standing up and got rid of my Red Bull can. So I see your shrimp check and I raise it, Streamlabs. Let me see how I feel about this. That, yeah, I like that better. That's the vibe. That's what we're going with. And this will inherently split a little bit, so it will be a more uneven background, but I think that it will be a nice color. But we'll test it here. We'll see what I think right down here. Yeah, I think that's good. Then that will give me a better read on how much I want to deepen up some of the flower shadows. We may do 2 coats of this, actually. But both of these colors, so I've mixed Apatite Green, which is actual mineral color, so there's actual rock in this paint. And Payne's Gray, both of which in this brand the colors tend to granulate, so they split a little bit. Which is something I like about this brand, but it does make it like more difficult to work with in general. But I like the difference that you can get with it. I think it's fun. But it does mean that I'll get like a nice, very painterly background here where the colors split once I lay them down. Because one of the things especially with these, like the stamp things that I've been doing, I've been trying to like let go of the control a little bit. Calrose! It's so good to see you. Hi! Thank you for the resub. I feel like it's been ages. Oh, that reminds me, I never updated you on something. Me immediately confronted with a friend. Oh wait, I never messaged you about that. You can probably guess, but not a big deal. Yeah, it's almost like the place that we hung out all the time disappeared. And now we're on like way different sleep schedules in general. Because when you messaged me the other day, I was like in bed. And that's partially why I didn't get your joke. Yeah, I know. You have to sleep like a normal human now. And I've been doing that for a while in my time zone, so. I don't know. My sleep schedule has weirdly gotten more normal, I guess. Which makes some sense, but. I know, right? We're adults. Isn't it disgusting? We need to joke about getting married again. That'll fix it, I'm sure. I was just telling Stream earlier, actually, one of the things I'm really excited about this weekend is to use the new mop that I bought. I'm so old and boring now. Yeah, see? So we've been using a Swiffer, for, like one of the Swiffer wet jet things for a really long time, but I got like a proper mop with a sponge on the end and a little squeegee and a brush attachment so that I can make the kitchen floor clean, which I'm ridiculously excited about. I've been cleaning the kitchen while my brother is at church on Sundays because it means that I like have the house to myself in the mornings. And I'm just like, I might as well do some cleaning. I'm also planning to clean the microwave this weekend. I'm such an exciting person. Yeah, see, those ones after a while, the like where you attach the rag gets like really worn out, and so you can't scrub properly, you know? So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just spending $20 on a mop, whatever. I did. The box really managed to fuck up my hand though when I was opening it. So, like, I don't know if anybody noticed, but I have like a thing on my knuckle here. I have a thing on this knuckle here, and then I have two paper cuts on this knuckle. Those are all from the mop box. I had to pay for it in blood, so it better like actually work. Yes, I need to do that, honestly. It's been a while since I did. I haven't cleaned like the front of the cupboards either in a while. Because I used to do like a deep clean of the kitchen when my brother was gone, like had gone down to visit my dad or whatever. But that's been a while, so I haven't done it within recent memory. Yeah, this one is a cardboard cut and it was corrugated cardboard. So each of the sides that is the paper cut me. So there's like a space in between where the corrugation would be. It was just like, it was just annoying. Like, I've dealt with plenty of cardboard cuts in my life because at the um, bookstore where I worked, breaking down boxes was one of like the jobs. So you would get paper cuts, like cardboard cuts all the time. And I still have scars on like some of my wrists that look like a little suspicious from that. But yeah, exactly. You have to pay the cleaning gods in blood. Otherwise, they won't hear your prayers correctly. Thank you for knocking that over. That was really helpful. Yep. And it's even worse with books because you can also get paper cuts from the books, um, which was definitely a thing. You're leaving it loose on purpose. Stop being insane about this. I'm like, oh my God, you can see a tiny piece of paper right there. Like, it doesn't matter. Calm down. Yep. And like, I'm just in general, I need a lot of lotion. And in Alaska, I'm sure it's similar where you are, where it's like really dry in the winter when it gets cold. It makes it so much worse and it makes your skin so much more delicate. So like, I go through crazy amounts of intense lotion all the time. Like, I use what I've been using now is like O'Keeffe's Extreme Hand Lotion Cream something. Um, and it's like 48 hours of protection, and I'm like, I need to reapply your lotion after 30 minutes. Um, so I'm proving you wrong, but thank you. I actually changed what lotion I was using recently, and I think it's better for my hands because it's unscented, and I think the scent I was maybe like mildly allergic to from the other one. Neutrogena is pretty good too. Yeah, exactly. There's like normal person 48 hours and then dry bitch 48 hours. But I do think that's so funny. They're like, use our night cream and you only need to apply it once. And I'm like, I will apply this 4 times before I actually go to sleep. Like, my skin gets like way more delicate when it's dry and when my histamine is like already higher. So like at certain parts of my cycle where my estrogen is higher, it gets a lot worse, which is like so annoying. It's like I'm dealing with enough stuff. Can you not? Yeah. At least I've noticed the pattern. Once I notice the pattern, it's easier to deal with. But when you're just like, why is this happening to me? And you can't tell why, it's like so frustrating. Which is just kind of like medical issues in a nutshell, honestly. But that's another thing, I guess. I was talking about how I had contacted some a mental health place, but I've also contacted a doctor about getting a hysterectomy. That's my goal for next year. I think I've mentioned that on stream before. But if I can get a full hysterectomy, then I don't need to deal with that anymore, which would be great. I would love that. Like, aside from just not wanting to birth any children, I've got really bad PMDD that's getting worse as I get older. So I actually feel like myself for like a week out of the month, which is ridiculous. Like, we're done with that. We're not going to deal with that anymore. Especially considering the way my country is going. I would rather not have that be a possibility at all. Thank you. So when I get back from vacation, I get to, well, vacation. When I get back from visiting family, which is not really a vacation, I get to start that journey. I've been asking to be sterilized since I was 19, but you know how it goes. Oh, but what if you get married and your husband wants kids? Well, that's not somebody I would marry. Also, why does this hypothetical person have more say over my body than me in this specific moment who lives in it? Yeah, that's fair. Like, I love working with kids. I love kids. I just don't want my body to be involved in making any. Like, so like my boyfriend now has a kid, and I love hearing about what she's doing and all that kind of stuff. But I don't I don't particularly want to do the baby thing. I just like hanging out with other people's kids, you know? Which I guess has always been true for me. Like my original career path was going to be being an elementary school teacher until I realized that I hate parents. Um, but I've known that I didn't want kids since I was like 17. Um, Pregnancy has always like really freaked me out. Yeah, I at the time I decided this, I was dating somebody who was not a good choice. I'll just put it that way. Um, but his parents had always been like very negative towards every single teacher that he'd ever interacted with. And there were good reasons for some of why they were negative towards teachers, and there were not good reasons for others. Um, but it kind of made me realize that if I had to deal with people like them for the rest of my life, that I wouldn't be able to do it. And like I had already known that um how do I put this? That dealing with parents is difficult because a lot of times, especially if you're working with younger kids, you can see how parents are damaging their children and you don't have any recourse to help them. Um so like because I was planning on being a teacher for a long time, like since I was in kindergarten, um I did a lot of volunteer work with kids. I did a lot of like summer camp counseling. I did cadet teaching, which was basically like assistant teaching through my high school. Um, and you really notice how parents, like, you can directly see how a child interacts with everyone and then see how they interact with their parent and understand exactly where that behavior is coming from. And there's nothing you can do about it. Like if it's not a situation that you need to get like legal help involved in, there's nothing you can do except for try to instill some, I don't know, confidence or whatever in the kid while you have them. And that was like so difficult and emotionally damaging for me, and I wasn't even like actually in the profession yet. It's difficult. Um, so there were multiple times where I saw how kids interacted with like books or something and realized once I met their parents that the reason that they were so interested in disappearing into a fantasy land and like not talking to people was because their home life was so shit. And seeing that and not being able to fix it is like so difficult to deal with. And I kind of realized that I could not do it. And then, like, I knew that that part was going to be difficult. And then I was dating this person whose parents were, like, actually awful to every single teacher they'd encountered. And I was like, I can't do both of those things. Um, like, I don't think I'm cut out for this, actually. And I changed majors. Oh, no. Yep. Gosh. Yeah. See, stuff like that. I cannot. I get so mad. I don't know. And I get that parents think that they're doing, many parents think that they're doing what's best for their kid when they really aren't. But like, oy, it gets so exhausting to deal with constantly. Because, like, even when I wasn't actually the teacher, I could tell what was going on. And I think that's partially because I was also a traumatized child. So, like, it's kind of like how neurodivergent people tend to find each other, or like queer people tend to find each other and hang out because you recognize yourself in the other. I can recognize when a kid is fucked up. Because I was also a fucked up child, you know? And so I pick up on that a lot faster than other people. I'm like, oh, there's something going on here. Yeah. Yep, exactly. Exactly. It's just like, oh, well, I don't want my kid to know he's different, so we don't want to label. And it's like, what you're doing is you're telling your kid that he's normal wrong. That's all you're doing. You're just saying, instead of giving your kid something that says, oh, I have difficulty with these things because of XYZ, what you're doing is you're telling your kid that something in him is broken because nobody else struggles with this. Um, and it's not not a good look, honestly. I think it's more that people get like so focused on what their own perception of a label is that they forget that there's a reason the label exists, and that's to get help. Because I definitely struggled with some of that growing up. And then I researched more because that's what I'm like. And I was like, oh, I see. I do also think that part of my issue was, and this is not just a me thing, this happens to a lot of neurodivergent kids, where you go to your parent to say that you're struggling with something, and your parent goes, well, everybody struggles with that. No, actually, they don't. These disorders have a genetic component. You struggle with that because you should have been diagnosed too. Um, and I definitely, like, when I grew up affects my situation too. Um, because when I was growing up, ADHD was the boy disease, you know? So I was never tested. My brother was looked at for a little bit. Um, but they never thought about me. And I remember going to the like place where they were testing with my brother. Um, he was pretty little. I think he was in first grade or kindergarten, somewhere in there. But I was sitting in the like hallway, and do you guys, okay, we're getting sidetracked, but it's fine. Um, do you guys remember when McDonald's had those teeny tiny little Barbie toys that were just like really small Barbies? They were like this big. Um, I had one of those that I'd gotten, and I spent the entire time that my brother was being like interviewed for this trying to braid the tiniest braid that I possibly could on this Barbie, and I'd been working on that for like um maybe 3 days trying to get the tiniest braid that I could get. And the person who was interviewing my brother came out and asked what I was doing, and I explained. And they went, "Oh, that's fun. I could never manage to do something that small." And I'm like, "Did nobody, like, you're trained in this. You didn't see this tiny child trying to like braid something so small and getting so hyper focused on it that she forgot where she was, and you didn't think like, "Oh, perhaps this child is neurodivergent." Like, what? I look back on so many of these hee hee ha ha stories that my parents told other people, and I'm like, that's so obvious. Good Lord. I'm guessing you're out of your meeting, Grim, which is why you have done this now instead of earlier. I was waiting for it. Um, Something nice about myself is that I am extremely thoughtful and good at gift giving because I'm so thoughtful. I pay very close attention to what people are saying and what kind of things they like, and I'm really good at figuring out a gift they haven't even figured out that they want themselves yet. That's one of my favorite things about myself, honestly. And welcome out of the meeting. Welcome back to the land of the living or something. But yeah, I don't know. Looking back on my life, I like once I realized, oh, actually, I do fall in line with a lot of this stuff. A lot of things suddenly made sense, and a lot of things made me really angry, which is pretty common as far as I can tell for people who get diagnosed late. Not that I am diagnosed yet, but well, I'm peer diagnosed, honestly, which I think is just as good, honestly. There's I think it's a tweet where somebody is like part of the diagnosis for these like diagnoses should be um, putting you in a room with somebody who has been diagnosed and seeing how long it takes you to hit it off, which is very true. Like I very much have collected a wonderful group of people who are all also neurodivergent, and almost my entire dating history is actually people who were neurodivergent, either diagnosed or not, um, which is something. I got that manic pixie, no diagnosis girl vibe. Hi, Adam! Always a pleasure to see you and your pickle. Okay, I do think giving that just the tiniest bit of a green tint makes it feel a lot more connected to the rest of the piece. I like that a lot better. You can drop your pickle for me anytime, buddy. Adam just knows what I want to see. That's all. That's just the kind of relationship Adam and I have. Yeah, exactly. What's a weekend without a little pickle slang in between friends, right? Okay, I need to decide if I'm darkening the background up more or if I'm leaving it like that. It looks way more uneven on camera, which means it's going to look really uneven when I scan it. So maybe I just want to like purposefully make it more uneven so that it feels like it's on purpose. You can just do like a little bit of blit in here. I say as if I'm actually going to be able to maintain that and not just try to be like really anal about it. I have control issues, okay? We've been new. But it's so funny because this is like the like looser watercolor style is one that I really like looking at, but it feels too messy when I do it. Like it's illegal when I do it. Which is so silly. Like nobody cares. Oh, that's right, Shawnee. I forgot that it was leaving soon. I remembered that it was here. We have to be all alone again. Our poor moon. So lonely. Back in 2025. All right. I'm really bad at keeping up with like astronomy news in general because I was used to Lapras doing that for me. So I never had to look into it. iPod Lapras is like really into astronomy and stuff. And so would always pop in to chat and like say stuff, but he's been having a rough time, so I haven't seen him as much lately.
Why do you like Halloween so much?
It's always Halloween in my soul.
Hi, Potato! Thank you for the boo. Okay, I do like that better, and I think that looks more weirdly making it more blotchy has made it look more even in general. I still think like right up here could use a little bit more. Right through here. Yeah, okay. That's good. And because we did so many dark colors, my paint water won't look like piss at the end of the day. That's the problem when I have, like, the color of the month this month is yellow. Like, it's yellow, yellow. And so when I'm doing watercolor for that, if I'm only using yellow, it really ends up looking like piss. Like, yeah, drop them lib emotes. Which again, I will mention. I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream, but I will mention it again. Lib and Rainbow are doing a collab stream this afternoon for me, this evening for most of you, probably tonight for many of you. And yeah, you should go watch them because I'm gonna be there. So, and I know you guys just follow me around because you like me that much. Like, let's be real. Okay, is that is just like a splotch. Okay, that's fine. We just need to deepen up the shadows on the flowers, and then I think we're Gucci. We're good to go. And then I can go eat lunch. Which I don't know what I'm gonna have for lunch. We have bagels. Maybe I'll have a bagel. Okay. Stuff and thing and doing things. As you do. That wasn't the color I meant to pick up. Oops. Okay, I'm gonna desaturate the yellow with a little bit of purple. I'm gonna go with that and see how it goes. I might also do like maybe just a little bit of Payne's gray in here at some point, but just desaturating the yellow will probably be pretty good too. Just to deepen up like some of the spots right in here where I really want there to be a clear line. I still haven't played this, Kale. They finally fixed that freaking setting without telling me, I will mention. And I still haven't played it because I was so grouchy about it. Which I think is reasonable, honestly, but kind of ridiculous. I'll get to it eventually, probably. Although, honestly, since I got my Steam Deck, I really do not play on my Switch, like, at all. Which actually, there's a shiny hunt I need to finish that I keep forgetting about. Don't worry about it. Yeah, the soundtrack slaps, which is why I have the songs on here. It used to be that whenever one of the songs came on, I'd be like, actually, I'm still mad at Raw Fury. Let's just destroy them for a little bit. But that's where I have it, and I'm not giving them more money to get it on Steam. Honestly, like, if I'm gonna play it, it's gonna be on Switch, and it's gonna be awful, and I can just be mad at Raw Fury some more, because that's like one of my #1 hobbies now, since they did this to me. For people who don't know, this song is from Cassette Beasts, which was a cool game that I thought was going to be really fun, but it has a lot of glitch effects in it, which tend to give me migraines. So I made sure before I bought the game that there was a setting in it to turn off the glitch effects. The setting on Switch did not work. So I sent in multiple bug reports to the publisher of it on Switch to try and get that fixed. It took them almost an entire year, and it took me, I think, 6 different tickets at the end of it, where I had at least 4 people telling me that they would message me and tell me when this setting was fixed. They did not. I found out by checking myself. So yeah, I refuse to buy any game that Raw Fury has touched now. They made me big angry. But it seemed like a cool game, which kind of sucks. Just generally speaking. But it also kind of sucks because Raw Fury is doing the Snuff King game, which I was also pretty interested in, but I don't trust them anymore at all. So I won't be getting that game either. Yeah, I think just deepening up the shadows in that is like, that's gonna take it to where we need to be, and then I'll be happy with it. But what's wild to me, okay, I'm just gonna keep bitching about this now. You've unlocked it. You've hit the trap card. Something that's wild is, so I posted that I was doing this on Tumblr, and somebody else mentioned to me that they had also put in a ticket about the issue, and they immediately got an offer to get a Steam code instead. I never got that offer, even though I could have actually played it on Steam. The person who I was talking to didn't accept the Steam code because they couldn't play it on Steam, because they didn't have a computer that was the correctness for it. But like, despite of my multiple tickets and all this kind of stuff, they never offered me that, which I thought was pretty wild, all things considered. Because that was apparently like the immediate offer for a bunch of people who had reported issues with it, but not me. Maybe just because I come off as too aggressive. I don't know. But like, I should be aggressive. I don't want to have migraines. You know? Especially since they had like promised to have it fixed in the next update for like multiple months. Just saying. Like, ridiculous. Is this accurate to the photo? Not really. Does it still look good? Yes. Hi, Aiden. Thank you. What? I know, Calibros is here. Isn't it great? I haven't seen him in so long. Thank you. Oh, I love that it sent me the message in Finnish. Thank you. I might. Right now, I'm really obsessed with something called Trash Goblin. But it's still early access, so they're still working on it. Right? Isn't it nice? My boys are in chat. Remember when I used to have the squad of boys? My boys. Which actually, both of you knew about something. I shouldn't say it on stream, but I will message you both after stream if I remember. About a thing. A thing that you both know, but is a secret. I think that you can probably deduce a little bit just from me saying that, but... Well, actually, Aiden might get confused because Aiden is privy to another secret. I have a lot of secrets now, I guess. Yeah, exactly, Shadi. Anybody else who would like to be part of the boy squad is welcome, but I won't assign you boy without you wanting it to be the case. Well, I told you, here, let's see how vague I can be because I only told a couple people. There was a thing that was scheduled for the end of last month that you both knew about. That thing got canceled twice, and I can give you more details later. Which I don't think is a shock. So. Oh, I love that song, Shawnee. My baby, he don't talk sweet. He ain't got much to say. Good song. Not me looking at entirely the wrong flower while I was rendering this. It's fine. Yeah, that's fair. I'm being like super duper vague on purpose. Also, which isn't helping. And I think many of us, like me, have just kind of stopped thinking about that overall because it's easier. Yeah, exactly, Aiden. I have so many secrets now, though. Like, at this precise moment in time, I have so many secrets. Which is wild. I'm just gonna keep losing track of what I'm doing now. I think it's really funny to me how I'm always like, a real stream is 3 hours long. In my head, that's what I've decided. But I can always tell at like 2 hours, I'm like tired. Like, it definitely depends on the day a little bit, but... It's like, I think if I was doing like a gaming stream, it would be considerably different. Just because that's not, generally speaking, it's not as like brain heavy as trying to decide how you're doing an art. Ooh, is it repeating? Oh, it does look like I've dropped some frames, so that's probably why. Just a couple though, not like a huge amount, so it probably wouldn't affect some people. Okay, yeah. I've dropped a few frames, so that's probably it. It'll just stutter a bit. Okay, these are these guys. Let's go right through here. I love that, Shotty. It's a crick. That's what it is. That was a joke with my family because my great-grandfather, who I actually never got to meet, always said crick. And so it became like a family meme to say crick instead of creek. Okay, we've gotten to a point where the middle one is currently my favorite, so we're on the right track. Which I think means that our ducky washi will be a next time task. Which I will show that again in just a second. For anybody who missed it at the start. Yeah, ducky washi. So I got this inked out yesterday. So this is going to be a repeating pattern to make washi tape out of. And I talked about doing like little rubber duckies with bubbles, and then I decided to do something like a little more different. So the duckies are buttons, and then the bubbles are buttons, and I will water them. Water them? That's not the right word. I will paint them with the same colors that you do for like bubbles. Hi, Rainbow. Good to see you. I've been talking about you. Yeah, Rainbow is going to be on Lipstream tonight. Be there because I've been begging for this collab the whole year. That's the third time I've mentioned it this stream. But yeah, so this is a repeating pattern, gonna be washi tape. But we mentioned, or I mentioned a while, where did can I finish a sentence? No, it's illegal. Here it is. But back when we did the So Busy button, like sewing sheet, like the sticker sheet, why can I not word? Holy shit. But I put in this little ducky button because my mom always had, like for my entire childhood, like I remember them, always had some little leftover rubber ducky buttons in her button bin. And so I was thinking about that and I was like, why not just do it like this? Huh? So it'll look like bubble bath kind of situation, but it's all buttons. So I thought that was cute and a little more original than just doing rubber duckies and bubbles. So that'll be our next project. This one is almost done. We're getting there. Ooh, hair done. Did you get more pink? Or did you do a different color this time? And we still have a couple more flowers to deepen up shadows on here. Like this guy, I think should mostly be in shadow, actually. We can just add a little bit of deeper in here to push it back a little bit more, which really means just putting more purple on here. Different kind of pink. Exciting, exciting. Because we do know Rainbow loves her pink. Oh, cool, cool. Nice and bright. That probably won't fade as bad then. Was that the plan? The thought process? I don't know words anymore. I say as if I ever knew words. Okay. These guys, and then I think we're set, unless I decide there's something else that I really need to change. Yeah, yeah. Good, good. I hope so. Fingers crossed for you. Because it is kind of annoying to pay that much money for a certain color and then have it last for like a week. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes sense. I don't know why, but like for a lot of these paintings where I'm like doing a painting based off of a photo I've taken, I get way more nervous about how it's going to turn out for some reason. As if suddenly I'm going to forget how to paint. Just because I'm looking at a photograph I made, like the pressure is higher or something. It's so weird. It's almost like I have anxiety or something. I am also like self-taught in watercolors, which I think freaks me out sometimes too. God, okay. You want to know one of my huge pet peeves is that Vine where they'll look at this photograph, but there was a meme where somebody replaced it with a histograph and said, "Look at this graph." And it drives me insane because it's not the same number of syllables. You could just say, "Look at this histograph," and it would be the right number of syllables to fit in the line. No, I'm not autistic. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's fair, Aiden. It feels like, I don't know, it feels like if I deviate, then I'm doing something wrong, but that's not doing something wrong. That's just making art. Like, and it's just my brain being mean to me. Like, it's so silly. And like, I know that it's silly, which somehow makes it worse. Yeah. That doesn't surprise me, Aiden. Because, like, no offense, but you're baby. You weren't around when that like song hit its prime, you know? You were Yiddle. It's true. True. Hi, Desk Clock. Good to see you. We got all the friendos popping in today. A little bit. But it's bullying you with love, and you know it. Remember, love is stored in the callouts. I've said it before. I don't know if Kale will remember. Correct. When I met Aiden, I legitimately thought he was in college. I mean, to be fair, I'm like really bad at guessing people's ages. I always have been. But like Aiden was like, "How old do you think I am?" And I was like, I don't know, in your 20s or something, you're probably in college. And it was like, I'm 16. And I was like, ugh. And I aged into dust immediately. Yeah, that's how time works, Aiden. Yep, exactly. Hey, Bewitch! Good to see you. How you doing? I think I probably want to do some more line work on that, actually. Let's see. Me trying to figure out where the midline is on this pedal. Yeah, generally speaking. And I do think that part of the reason Aiden came off as older than he is um, was just because he stays in his lane. Honestly. Because there are a lot of the number one way that I can tell someone is like significantly younger than me is when they make old people jokes. You know, where they're like, "Oh, are you old? Do you feel old yet?" Oh, great. Yeah. Lovely, Bewitch. Jury duty too? That's bullshit. I'm sorry. I hope you have some kinder days. That's rough. Right? We've got so many bodacious beans today. It's great. Yeah, for sure. And I do, okay. I will say that there's something. No! Oh my gosh, I'm glad it was relatively okay, Nesclaw. That's scary. But like the thing about neurodivergent people is like either you get along super well and it's like you've known each other for your entire lives, or you despise each other with the hatred of 5,000 suns. Like there are just some people that you just don't get along with. And I feel like if you're neurodivergent, that level of like dislike is so much more intense because there is definitely a certain flavor of neurodivergent person I do not get along with and I actively hate. And Calibros knows exactly who I'm talking about right now. Um, but like there are just some people who like it doesn't matter if I know you're neurodivergent. I hate the way you treat other people. Like, yes, it can explain some things, but also you could try harder to be a kind person. Just throwing that out there. Yeah, exactly. Different flavors. And I think I will say, like, just to read myself a little bit, right? Yeah. um, but I think part of that is just because I had to mask for so much of my life that I get mad when other people don't put in the same amount of effort that I did, which is not fair. And I will say that I am working on that. That is a habit that I've noticed in myself, and I'm working really hard at like confronting that and not doing that anymore. But like also it takes like yes, being kind takes effort, but it's effort that is worthwhile if you want to hang out with people who like you. you know? But yeah, there are just some people who I run into and I'm like, I know you're neurodivergent and I know that this is a thing, but also I hate you so much and I wish that I was never in the same room with you because I will bite your shins off. And I will say there's one super obvious example, which is who I'm thinking of at the moment. I won't say because that's mean. Um, but I've complained about it to some people privately. Exactly. And the way I think of it personally is that you can always take kindness back. You can't take cruelty back. So if you discover that someone isn't worth your kindness, you can stop being kind to them. Like I don't stop being polite to people, but that's different. Um, so like I don't know. There's been a couple situations where like I will stop treating somebody super kindly and they go, "Oh my God, what happened?" And other people will be like, "If Katie's not being nice to you anymore, then you've earned it." Like, what did you do to piss Katie off that bad? Kind of a thing. But like people will always remember cruelty if that's the first thing they encounter with you. But you can also be kind, and then if somebody isn't worth the effort, you can just stop. So I always start with nice, and if that isn't worth my time, then I stop. But for most people, like my polite is still pretty kind, you know? Yeah, for sure, Aiden, for sure. Yeah, also that, Calibros. Like, I call us the salt factory for a reason. Like, we're bitch buddies. Always have been. Actually, okay, this is only vaguely related, but I've been reading a book about the history of salt, like the mineral not being pissy about people. Um, and it's been really interesting. It's so long, like it's way longer than I thought it was going to be, but it's so fun. Like, did you guys, I think I mentioned this the last time I brought up my book, but did you know that there's a thing, like a recipe that became a thing for moth-proof ham? Can you imagine a world in which you need to protect your ham from moths to the point that multiple people make recipes to tell you how? Wild. Wild. Yes, exactly that, Aiden. Moth-proof ham. And if I get, yes, also salary, correct. And that's also where the term soldier comes from. Like salt is in the basis of the French word for soldier because that used to be the payment method is you would pay your soldiers in salt. It's so interesting. I don't know. It's been a really fun book. It's just called Salt: A World History. The sal in salacious also comes from salt, which I found particularly interesting. There's a lot of cultures that apparently like would abstain from salt and sex at the same time, which honestly sounds like a horrible existence to me. I'm not gonna lie. Um, I like salt. Like, why would you do that to yourself? But yeah, I also learned reading this book last night that the beginning of Gandhi's resistance was actually focused around salt, and I had no clue. Like, I've never heard that before. But the way, like, the first laws he was breaking. Exactly, Shawnee, 100%. You should pin that because that's just how we are here. Um, but the way that he first resisted the British government's laws was to actually go and collect salt from someplace where the British had outlawed any salt production um, because they wanted to have their salt be sold in India and all of their colonies, actually. This is a trend with the British colonial system. They wanted their homegrown salt to be the focus. of like sold at an upcharge so that they could get more money. Yeah, do it. Do it. I mean, if you're comfortable with that. If you aren't comfortable with that, that's fine too. But I think that that deserves a pin. But yeah, I don't know. I've just found this book really interesting because I'm learning all sorts of things that I didn't know before. Just, you know. It is something that we need, which is very intriguing. That obviously it's been part of world history, but not in a way that I had run into before. I don't know. Interesting book. Very long, though. It's a relatively easy read for a history book, actually. So I would, like, recommend it, but it is still a history book, even if it's written in, like, a pop culture kind of way. But I started reading it because I needed a break from a book that I was reading that is not written in a pop culture way, and it hurts my little noggin. So... No way! That's great. I love that. They haven't talked about Finnish salt at all in the book. Me, Marie. Okay, I think I need to stop. I think that's the end point here. I think if I keep messing with it, it's just gonna... Well, I say that, and then I found one thing that I really don't like, so we're gonna mess with that right now. I don't like how plain that one section is. Okay, actually now. Thank you. I'm pretty pleased with it. You guys want to see the photo? I've had it sitting to the side here. This is a photo that I actually took, which I mentioned a couple times, but this is the photo. Oh, I forgot I moved my camera a little bit. That's why I've been having trouble keeping in frame on the bottom side. I wore a really low-cut shirt last time, and I was worried I was going to flash you guys and get reported, so I moved the camera a little bit. But yeah, so that's this. Ta-da! Because like, so I'm playing at playing. That's not the word that is correct. Painting at a coffee table, so like it's directly at boob level for me. So if I lean really far forward, it's just boob. As discussed earlier, I have a fair amount of that. Yeah, I think this slaps, actually. I think we did really good. Let me take a photo of this. I probably should have taken some more progress photos, but you know, whatever. So since the person that I would usually raid is literally in my chat right now, let me go look and see who's live. And we can find somebody to raid, and then I can go eat my lunch. Yes, thank you, Twitch app. I'm aware that I am live. That's very helpful. Let's see. Oh, Green Bean is live. I haven't been there before, but I like them. So let's go bother Green Bean. Green Bean! We can go... I don't know what's on the lunch menu. I might just have a bagel and an apple, because we have some bagels that I should get using. But yeah, other than that, I don't know. Here, let me switch over to the ending screen, because that is in fact what is happening now. Let me do... Can I type? That's the next question. Yeah, it definitely couldn't be Rainbow, who you should all follow and also buy things from her shop before she closes it for moving. Just throwing that out there. She has some really cute holiday cards, you should get some. And there's also, I know Aiden is a big fan of this. One of the cards has a raccoon on it, and there's also a raccoon sticker. Just throwing that out there. And Rainbow's gonna have to close her shop soon because she's moving really far. So you should give her money. Pro tips. And if you give Rainbow money, you should do it through her Ko-fi. Because there's less fees there, so everything is less expensive there. Did I type that out right? I think I did. Green Bean Supreme does some really cool fake mod designs, and also does like ranking Pokemon. So I think that my old school Jick friends will enjoy that. No, Rainbow's moving all the way to the West Coast. She's moving closer to me because I'm her favorite. Obviously. Yep. Yeah, everybody should move closer to me so that it's easier for me to find you and give you hugs. I do have a modeling session next week, but it should not interfere with wait, does it interfere with stream? No, it doesn't. But this is like, I'm working on Lib's birthday. So I might not be there for the actual birthday stream, but we'll see. Hopefully I'll get out of work in time to pop in. But I might be tired on Tuesday, but I'll still be here. It's fine. So regular stream schedule next week, so Tuesday afternoon and Friday morning, like usual. Well, Friday morning for me, it might be a different time for the rest of you. But I'll see y'all then, and I'm sure I will see you in other places on the internet in between. I actually broke my streak, Shawnee, on purpose. Oh, invalid username. I don't think so. Did I spell it wrong? Am I crazy? I actually should pull up the stream in the first place. Oh, yes. I will do my best to not forget about that, but I make no promises, honestly. We all know how well my brain works. This is what I want. This is what I want. I know how to do a stream. No, I don't. This is all fake. Oh, that's why. Okay. I did spell it wrong. I forgot that it was a little bit different. Yeah, thanks everybody for being here. It was really nice to see everybody. A working one? What? Working brain? No, I don't. I already forgot what I said. There we go. Okay. Thanks for being here. Good to see you all. Yeah, super nice to see everybody. It was nice. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. Remember that you're loved because I love you. And if you can't take care of and be kind to yourself, please do it for me because I think that you're awesome and deserve nice things. And that includes from yourself, even on the days when it's hard. So let's make sure to be kind to ourselves and then we can tell each other all of the awesome ways that we have been nice to each other the next time we see each other, okay? Okay. We're going to go raid Green Bean Supreme, whose channel I have not been in before, but is a Cap enjoyer, and we love Cap. So, and also does a lot of cool Pokemon fake mons, which are super fun. So we can bug him about that. And I think y'all will like. He's got good energy, even though I haven't been able to like catch a full stream. But I will see you all. I will definitely be in Lib's stream later today to watch Lib and Rainbow, so you should come hang out. Okay, bye.